Alright, we got Palomar 600 here, and basically the problem is there was a 1.5 volt sitting on the base of all these transistors as soon as you hook power up to this amp, not even with the switch on. I quickly figured out that the 7805 for some reason is sitting at about 8 volts. And the tip 31 is completely blown. And when I took them off, these are the replacements here that I've done installed, but when I took them off, there was a blown trace which carries the positive voltage down when the relay is keyed to the 7805. And as you see right there, what I had to do is scrape the paint off there and pretty much run a little wire there to the front lead right here, and there's also a lead under there that goes to this cap right here, which is just for filtering. So I did that much, so we're going to see, hopefully that'll fix it. I'm going to fire some power to it and adjust this down to a linear operation. Take these chokes off here too. I had that on just testing something last night to see if that was see how it was operating in Class C. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off there now and solder the chokes back and all that good stuff. Also, this winding right here, I could tell it was part of the Teflon was being scraped off of it. So I went ahead and just replaced that whole winding to be safe, because that winding gets because what's happening is this amp's going into pure oscillation. The heat sink's getting hot very quickly just when you turn it on. So that could have been shorted out against that, I don't know, but I went ahead and rewrapped that. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, bud, we got you 4 brand new 1446s here we're about to throw in here. And 2 of these are reading as diode. Well, 3 of them are reading as diodes. One of them is just reading very, very low HFE value, and one of them is flat out blown, of those 4 right there. Luckily, the driver was still good. So we're putting the driver back into there, and we're going to put 4 brand new ones here right there, and we're going to cross our fingers and hope that that's what's going to make this box start talking again. Went ahead and replaced the 317 and the 7805, both the diodes. So one of them were completely blown, the other one was not. I just went ahead and replaced it to be safe. Alrighty, we'll be back. Whew, goodness gracious. Finally done with this amplifier. Now, the unique thing about this amplifier right here, I mean, the way you see that it looks, that's the old style cases, like the Boomer 600 or whatever. As soon as you pop the top off of it, it is not the old style Palomar. It's the new style, which never got popular. I've heard a lot of bad things about these particular amps, the 2 driving 4s, 1x4s. They attempted to make a lot of them, and they just all seem to have problems, a lot of problems. I mean, I really don't understand why you'd go to the trouble of doing a regulated AB bias circuit here, but have no neutralization, no feedback circuits. I don't get that. I really don't. So I had to go ahead and add those feedback circuits just to make myself feel better. Okay. As you already can tell, I was first off having some problems with hardly no output at all. The bias was sitting at 1.5 volts. I had to pull the whole board out, take a look up underneath, make sure there wasn't nothing going on up under there. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I'm ready to get in bed, man. I finally pulled the transistors out, and that's when I could quickly see that was the issue. They had literally been cooked by too much bias current. The voltage was way too high on the base. Yeah, I guess it had been an attempt to be ran that way, and pretty much all but one fried. Alright, well, I got the new 1446s in here, match set. Replaced most of the bias circuit. Both three-legged devices, the two diodes. These are still good. 2K is still good. And I was able to adjust the bias current to a proper setting, voltage to a proper setting. And I'll be honest with you, man, the amp was dead keying almost 350 watts, and it was swinging back to about 180. And this is on high. Their input reflect was about 2 watts. I threw a trimmer here on the input. It did absolutely no help at all. It just made it worse, up to about 3 watts input reflect. Somebody attempted to put a capacitor back here on the input right here to ground. It's not the proper place to tune an input, because when you key the amp, this is in connection with up here, but when you're barefoot, it's not. So that can throw some things off, when you're barefoot there. So I quickly figured out that we had a issue that was it wasn't capacitance related. So here was another one of them resistance slash inductance issues on the tuning. So I had to first sit here. Basically what I had to do is create a 2-stage input pad, because it was quite hot on the input of this amp, man. Dead keying 350 watts, swinging back to 180. You went on medium, it was dead keying like 250, swinging back to 150. Low was, about the only thing that was swinging forward a little. So I had to just play with a lot of different values and make a multi-stage padding. Here's your first layer, which is a voltage dividing circuit right here, and corresponding with a 27 ohm resistor. That started things off proper. I got the reflect down a bit. I was still about a half a watt at that point. Now what you got to be careful with at this point is resistors can hide reflect. You don't want to hide the reflect, you want to get it going. I understand sometimes you just have no choice, but you want to try to get that reflect going the best you can. And then what I had to do is just modify the board, because I needed some resistors in series with the RF. I'd done all I could right here. That's what was going to do the job the best. If I went any lower or higher, reflect came back. So at this point was more trying to help the reflect, and this point was more trying to do more of an input pad. So I got two 47s in parallel there, and that done the trick. So I went ahead and did your power wire upgrade that you asked for, Paul. Got your two good 10 gauges here. We're just dealing with 1446s here. Two good 10 gauges positive, two good 10 gauge negatives. Got your good strain relief back there on the back. Got your blue LEDs you asked for. Those were quite fun installing. I had to rewrap this output transformer, as you can see. I think I've already mentioned that. Everything else seemed to be okay. I think I've mentioned everything else too in the videos before this. This is a multi-video deal right here. Alright, well, after all that, which is quite a few hours of labor. I finally got this dang amp tamed. Now, I have not seen what it's doing on the top end. I just seen what it's doing on the low end. So we're going to check it out on the servo supply first, which is kind of mimicking a mobile in a sense. Then we're going to go to the unreg supply, because this is a regulated AB circuit, so that higher voltage is not going to change the bias voltage on this thing, okay? It's just going to give more voltage on the collector of the transistors. 11446 driving 4. I'm not a big fan of that configuration myself. I would rather just be a straight 1446. I think that would have fixed a lot of issues with this amp if it was just a straight 4. But you know, I worked with what was here, man, and I was luckily able to get it tamed. I've had about 3 or 4 of these come through my way, and every single one of them I just haven't been really happy with. I just really haven't been. It's a good amp for sideband if you can get it, you know, working properly. This one, thank God, is working properly now, so it'd be a great amp for sideband. You're not looking to get a whole lot of power out of this amp. You're looking for linearity. That's why they go with the regulated AB section. This isn't to be a Class C mall amplifier by no means. Alrighty, let's go with the bench radio first. Ooh. Just to show you that all the LEDs work. Preamp. The key. Alright. Alright, brother. We're on the 1000-watt slug. This thing's got automatic SSB, okay? We're on a 1000-watt slug. On high is now giving us about a 60-watt dead key. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's about 180 watts RMS. Here's your input reflect now on high. Ooh yeah. Took a lot of work to get that down like that. I'm telling you, it was up there about 2.5 watts at first. Ooh yeah. Alright, here's your medium. And another thing I went ahead and did too, now that I'm thinking about it, this wire that's going to your the center pole of your high-low medium switch, they had to wire on this side of the resistors. That's not really the best place for that to be. It's not going to get, it's not as touchy, I noticed. I went ahead and moved that on down the line down here, and once I'd done that, it helped a lot with the high-low medium being a little bit more sensitive. Alright, here's what medium looks like. Remind you, I'm doing a 1 watt dead key from the radio, swinging 4 watts RMS, okay? So that's giving us a good low dead key. Oh, about 120 RMS. Good. Alright. Let's go on low, and this is really low. It gives us no dead key. Ooh. Ooh, got swing. Ooh, 100 watts. Input reflect. Ooh, still great. Alright, let's go to PEP. Let's go back to high. Here's what we're doing on PEP, 14.6 volts. Ooh, almost 400 watts, about 380 watts. Alright. At this point, what I'm going to do is just switch supplies. We're going to go over to the linear supply, okay? Alrighty, we're on the 100 amp supply unregulated. We are on the medium tap. We're floating at 18.9 volts. This is going to drop to about 15.4. It's not putting a real strong load on it, but it's putting good enough of a load. At that point, I'll hook the hot radio up. Alright, here's your RMS. Ooh, there's your 200 watts RMS. Ooh, yeah. At this point, it's working like a good 22879 amplifier, but linear with regulated AB biasing. Here's your PEP. Let's see if we can't get close to what it advertises, the 600. Still 4-watts drive, RMS. I'll tell you what, man. This focus just gets on my nerves. There we go. Ooh, not close. Getting there about 500 watts. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Like I said, I had to add a little bit more input padding. I'm telling you, that's probably what helped blow these transistors too, man, is, I mean, you're oversaturating the transistor swinging backwards, while on PEP it's showing you that you're swinging forward. You know, now you can see on the RMS scale you're swinging forward on both scales, and that's what you want. Alright, I'm going to hook up the hot radio, throw a little bit more drive in this, just do a quick burp with it, and I'll be back. Alright, now we have doubled our input drive from 4 watts RMS to 8. That's about 20 watts peak to around 40. 1000 watt slug. Running the Stickman modified Cobra 29. Voltage in the supply is turned down to make it do 8 watts. It does do normally about 12. Alrighty, here's what we do with 8 watts drive. Go! Right there, almost 300 watts. That's good for 1446s, by the way. If you can get them to do around 300 watts for 4 of them, you're doing good. Doing great. Ooh, almost 300 watts. Ooh. Let's go check the PEP. Ooh, right there, about 15. Now it's dropping. 500. It's dropping 14.4 volts. At this point, I am going to flip it on the high tap with a quick burp. That's what we call it. All right, here we go. There's your 600. Just a quick burp on RMS. All right. She's done, brother. Like I said, man, when you find these boxes done like this with the regulated AB, as you see right here, they're not going to be your real power monsters like you see out of other amps, but they're going to sound real good on sideband, good and linear. I had a Cobra, I think 400 XL one time, man. It was just like this, you know, regulated biasing in it and everything. Just got rid of it to one of my buddies, Mr. Real Deal, out there, DC Power. He said, man, this thing don't make a lot of power. About 200 birds, all I can get at is a 455 box. He said, but man, this thing sounds good on sideband. I'm getting the you know, awesome, you know, contact. People telling me that it sounds real good and clear. This is a clear, good sounding amp. It's not always about the power, y'all. I know we all want the power as much as we possibly can, but when it comes down to it, man, you want antenna and you want some Mother Nature. And if you're on sideband, you want linearity. Alright, brother. Thank you for being patient with me, man. I know you've been waiting a good little while on this repair. Everybody else is out there waiting. Just be patient. I've done turned a new leaf out here and getting more organized out here on this end. I'm working hard as one man can work. I do this full time. There's the back there. I'm going to throw you a sticker on there for you, man. I see the transmit came off there. It's in good shape, though, man. Throw you some Andersons on this bad boy. Be ready to work some SSB, some AM, whatever you want to work with it, man. We'll get this right here wrapped up and sent back to you, bud. Anybody got anything you need done or an amp like this, give me a shout at threemanpro@gmail.com. That's THREE. P is in purple. Something just fell from the ceiling. Alright, it's THREE P as in purple, ro@gmail.com. And I am sleep deprived and I'm going to bed. 73rds, God bless. Always remember, if it's making the bird watts, the PEP will follow. But just because you see it making peak watts don't always mean that the bird's there. I'm gone. God damn.